Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spirit Talks. Today, I'm joined by my beautiful friend, Craig Atchison again, and he's been on several of my other Spirit Talks, so I'm excited to see where this is going to take us today. Hey, Craig.
Yeah.
We're
Excuse me
talking.
for a second while I put my phone on silent. Something I should
That's
have done
wonderful.
beforehand.
We're talking about dissolving the illusion of separation and fear today. And this is really a topic that I feel is so important for all of us to know, what the illusions are that we are living within, and really recognizing our matrix, that we have created as well, obviously. But I'm excited about this. So, Craig, first of all, tell us where you are in the world and what do you do?
I currently reside a little south of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and I've been helping people find their own soul mission, soul journey for a bit more than 10 years now, and just formulating books and turning into a bit of a business.
Beautiful. And you said you've got some book edits back, which is very exciting. And you're launching your book. I don't know when, but I'm excited to read it as well. So well done. So tell us why this topic is so important to you, dissolving the illusions definitely of separation and fear.
I think it's a really critical point for just about everyone to jump on board, or just to do some inner soul searching, just to see, like you're saying, that the matrix of what we live in, how the tiniest little implants of fear can make us make changes that we might not have made because of those things turning up in our lives. When we can begin to recognize and, for the best part, allow that process to happen and not be attached to that fear, I guess it's then when we start to dissolve those boundaries of what fear is, and we get into a state of mind, a state of being where we can analyze what's coming in, we can accept what it is, and then we can act and react accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what Ascension is all about, awareness, ultimately. Being aware of what is happening within your matrix, within your reality, right? So I really want to talk about the word matrix. And it's been flying around for a long time. And I really want us to maybe just give a view, in your view, an understanding of the word matrix. What does that mean for you?
I help my clients with this one all the time. It's probably one of the foundations of what is at the core of our spiritual journey, I guess, is that we live in a world that is an environment not just of our surroundings now, but of our electronic connections as well. So I use the term my little world bubble. So in my existence, what I see my matrix is the room that I'm currently sitting in, is all that exists. I know that my kids are at school, and I could somehow envisage what they might be doing at school, learning and all that kind of stuff, but that they are separate to my existence. All that is within my particular life at this point, at this very moment, is this room, yourself, and who else might be interacting with the video. What comes into my world within this present moment, like the message that I didn't check, or what has come, is is the information systems from the universal direction. Some of that's fear-based, some of it's depending on our perceptions, some of it's good, some of it's bad. But that's what I guess we're going to delve into. That information as it comes in can be used in many different ways. It's very important for us to be connected. There's no real sticking our heads in the sand within this day and age. We need to moderate what it is that we receive. We need to be aware. And we also, at the same time, we need to separate ourselves from what isn't within our little matrix or our world bubble. So while my kids are at school and I love them and care for them and want to take care of them, they are currently outside my realm of control. So that's my analogy.
Beautiful.
Matrix.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think for each of us, if we can think about our matrix rightly so as a bubble and as a movie playing out, and there is lots of different input that comes into that movie that changes the way that we see things, the way that we watch that movie, the way that we perceive that movie to be, right? The mood that we have, the people that we connect with. If anything happens to your children, or you get a call from school and all of a sudden you've got to go pick up your children, that changes your movie. All of a sudden things start changing for you. So there is constant input within your matrix, and your matrix is simply your reality. That's what it is, right? And I believe that there is no good or bad. There's no good or bad. It's simply moments of growth. Every single moment is a moment of growth. So whatever it is, it's just those inputs or those good and bad moments are simply changing directions for you, changing your perceptions, changing whether it's accepting, healing, whether it's shifting, aligning, realizing, whatever it is in that very specific moment that you need to come to awareness to. And so if we know that actually that humanity are, if you can imagine us as bubbles, all have bubbles, right? Our bubbles are interconnected with each other. So we're constantly tuning into each other's bubbles and into the universal bubble that is the universe or energies. So the same as, when your kids are at school, even though you are in your own sovereign bubble, you are still tuned into their bubbles, into their matrix. You are co-creating with them, alongside them. But the very thing here is to understand that we are sovereign beings and that we are in charge of our bubbles here. You can't do anything, and we have free will. So you're not in charge of someone else's bubble. And this is very important to know. Very important to understand as human beings that we have a choice about what we and how we see the information that is coming into our world. What would you like to share about that, Craig?
I love that. That's pretty much perfect to what I believe. And I've got the analogy of every single soul within that little bubble has a line to someone else, a direct line. So especially with your kids, your family, and all that kind of stuff. There are times and places where things and people might want to get in between that connection between you and someone else for many different reasons. Maybe it's school policy, maybe it's interference from another student or another person. It could be, there could be relationship kind of things. There could be jealousy, anger, frustration, all kinds of things that get in between the two bubbles and the direct soul contact. It is up to us to determine who, where, what, and why, or how, I guess, how all that is, how that direct contact is being compromised by external forces, because the only thing that is really true on a soul level is that we have a direct contact with everyone in the world, whether you kind of like it or not, but there's definitely a stronger energetic connection to certain people. And we should be vigilant about whatever it is that seeks to diminish that soul connection.
Yeah, and this is where the programming comes in, and I'm going to go there today because I want to talk about this. This is where the programming comes in. We have been, as a civilization, as humanity, we've been programmed to believe certain things within our own bubbles, within our own matrix, and that filtering of that program has unfortunately created our way of being, our way of life. But now, as we awakening to what is true within us through the heart portal, because what's happening is we are being supported universally by amazing frequencies and upgrades and recalibrations, right? To attune us back to our heart portal, to source, to the universal light and truth within us. And all of a sudden, and our bubbles start vibrating and shaking, and our bubble starts bursting, right? Because we're like, holy heck, all of a sudden I'm like, right, what is happening? The stuff that I believe to be true, what my parents told me, what they told me at school, what I perceived that I should be doing, what is correct for humanity to do, no longer feels in alignment with me. All of a sudden there is this kind of questioning, right? There's awakening of your soul that comes in. And I feel that the most important thing comes here with changing your frequency. When you're tuning your frequency through your heart portal to source, you can access more of that truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's very, very, very true. And this is the benefit for people of faith. And it doesn't matter whether it's like our kind of hooey spiritual type, or if it's like religious spiritual, or any kind of matter of faith. There is, like you described, a always present energetic connection to what we would call the heart chakra. To be able to draw on that and shift those energies around within our bodies, that you can do with Reiki and even just simple meditation, like just simple faith. It's such a valuable asset for us to have when we are experiencing something within our life that's potentially traumatic at first, because that's how we perceive it. And then as we look into it further, the universe, our guides or angels are giving us this challenge, because there's likely parts of our life that we need to learn a little bit more from, or take a little bit more control. And what you were describing before, I picked up the little note that I wrote down, is quite often we're unwittingly, through society and how we've been trained, generational lessons, we're giving our power away to certain people, certain organizations, certain institutions, especially when it comes to a problem that we perceive is too big and out of our control. And I guess this is a general overarching theme of something that's happening at the moment. But the individual's answer to that overarching problem is rather simple. It's dissolving that separation that fear creates. And it's about acknowledging where the world is going, where my life is going, where I see my family, friends, or loved ones going, and assisting growth for myself individually, number one, and being there as a support mechanism for anyone else that's attached to me on a close level, number two. Anything else then that you could do to assist humanity on the smaller scale is basically all every individual really needs to do. Some people do a lot of charity work, and some people in this forum probably doing way too much charity work. So for those people, it's not about necessarily going out and doing a little bit more again. It's actually about coming back inwards, looking after yourself, or finding that little support mechanism, maybe someone that you know can help support you a little bit better so that you've got the capacity to keep doing the things that you're doing. So on an individual level, if we can just come back to center, come back to self, come back to the love dynamic that is the opposite of the fear separation, that's all it's going to take on a humanitarian level.
Yeah, so true. Ultimately, we are in charge of dissolving our own fear, individual fear, which is also, generational, because, the cell memory that we hold of past traumas and things that's happened and indoctrination and all of that stuff, that yucky stuff. Yes, it's there. We've got to face it, deal with it individually, and really go, okay, what do I want to do now? And this is the key question. How do I want to move forward from this point, knowing that we have a world? We, as humanity, are laying foundations right now. We have been over the last 5, 6, 7 years, especially, begun to lay foundations, different foundations, more solid foundations of truth and love, peace, co-creation, harmony, that is built on all of those beautiful energies. We cannot build our lives moving forward on broken foundations. It will all come crumbling down. And that is why we're being called so deeply as individuals, especially in the last couple of weeks. In the last 2 days, the energies have shifted a lot with, all of the full moon and everything, the eclipse that's happened, so it feels lighter. But there were some deep shadows that came up for people within their own bubble to deal with, to face. So if you don't deal with that, it'll come up for you again and again until you do deal with it. But it's inevitable that we are moving through an incredibly beautiful time for us to go into a space of I am sovereign, claiming back what is truly yours, and saying I am here to create a life, to co-create with life, to not be part of the destruction that is happening in our world, to dissolve the illusions, remove the masks from my own eyes and from my own face, the flaps that I've had on all this time, and go, okay, I see clearly now. So what do I do with this now? Do I run away in fear, or do I face what is actually a very exciting time to be alive? What is actually a very beautiful space to create in? We are building, we builders. We as human beings are here to build together, co-create together. Isn't that true, Craig?
Mm-hmm. Sure are. And now more than ever, this is a different kind of time than any other time ever. More and more we're feeling like, it's someone else's job, and there's other things to do, like other people need to do this and other people need to do that. And that's very true. But some of those people are already doing all those things. We need to co-create on a greater community level, even if that means just within your own family, creating greater bonds. This time is literally the spiritual battle between the fear, separation, and what everyone calls love and light. So it's one side or the other, and there is a temperature mix that's part of humanity. We're all here to learn. Like, many people have made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes. I've made tons of mistakes. I make so many mistakes, but I learn from them. It seems my path through my own spiritual journey was to go the roughest, hardest road, to find the truth of the things that I was going through. And what I can basically all boil it down to is black and white. There is aspects of fear in just about everything that you could say is of a negative context. And there is aspects of love within the same dynamic on the other side. So it comes down to things like that. And when you get into and you start self-analysis of what's going on in your own life, you try and see the patterns, as you were saying, that can come up time after time after time. It's because your guides are showing you that there's a greater capacity for you as a human being. There is a plan and a direction in a way that they want to take you, but you need so many tools in your tool belt to be able to build this new structure. They will take you down that road, and at first it might seem traumatic. It'll always be a shock. Humanity as a whole has been shocked. There's been a great awakening into what's going on. And I must say that humanity as a whole has proven my thoughts that the whole world is basically really, really, really good people. Because if we weren't really good people, so many things would be so much worse. If you just think of the dynamic within the household, you know, it only takes one angry person to upset the mood of a household. It only takes a few angry people to upset the mood of a community, and so on and so forth for countries, and expanded on a whole. So whilst the world's going through a lot of trouble, a vast majority of human beings are just good, loving people. The only thing that's stopping us from expressing a greater sense of love, connection in the world is separation. And that's basically what we're addressing here. The reasons why we are separated from implants of fear, either internally created because we don't think that we can, or we've got some sort of negative self-talk going on, or given to us from an external source.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's key to realize that all of these inputs and experiences that you have been, you know, it's brought you to this moment of understanding for you as an individual, but also for the collective, right? And it's rightly so what you say, most people are good people, but then there's a group of people that are not good people, and that have always had the intention, you know, as we know with slavery codes and all of that stuff, have had the intention to keep humanity enslaved, indoctrinated, controlled for their own benefit. And this is what we are breaking free from. We are breaking free from the illusion that we are not free, sovereign human beings, that we are coming back to connection with our higher self, our higher soul self, coming back to that connection that actually we are magnificent beings of light. We hold a universal power within us. Humanity has the ability to feel emotions, to create, to invent, to inspire. And we're actually a fantastic, beautiful race, civilization, beings. But we have been almost cut off. The umbilical cord has been cut, right? And it's like we're coming back to that. We are fusing back now with the divine and starting to realize, and also with our earth, with Mama Earth, our earth is teaching us so much through this whole process. But what illusions are we dissolving? What are the illusions that we are dissolving? There's many different, because it's a web, an interplay of different stories and experiences, and each of you create your own interplay of stories and experiences because we are creators. And like you said, Craig, we're no longer blaming that person or that person or that group or that society or that civilization or whatever. No longer the school teacher, no longer the grandmother, the father, the mother, because we are in control now. If we stand up and take a stand for our own evolution as such, then we can make way for future generations that are going to be birthed into this world. And there are beings of light, babies that are being born now and that have been born in the last, especially 5 years, hold so much more light. They're coming in with higher frequencies, right, to raise the frequency of our planet as well. So, and with that, there is also an illusion of, pandemics and all sorts of things that's been happening and things that's been told to us of what we must do to be able to get something. So all of those illusions are now breaking down, and it's starting at that individual level. What do you want to add to that, Craig?
Oh, a bit.
I saw you writing like crazy.
Yes, evolution is an imperative. So the best way you can kind of see for yourself is if you follow astrology, you'll see the changes within your own dynamic. They follow a universal pattern. Like just last month, like you mentioned, a whole month of retrogrades. Yeah, that was fun. And two full moons and a new moon for me and a lunar eclipse has literally kept me up for 2.5 months, maybe a little bit more. I'm not able to get a full night's sleep. I'm functioning on I don't know what, but yes. But evolution is a must. Those things come to us to give us a chance to do those little analyses and change. And humanity as a whole has been evolving through the ages. As you're expressing, we're going into the age of Aquarius. So it's a brand new age. And those, there will always be those within the divine balance that seek to corrupt and divide. There will always be those pure souls on that end of the scale that are doing that. There'll always be the exact same balance on the lighter side of the earth doing the exact opposite. And so most of the majority actually live in the middle. We might be anywhere within that. I use an analogy of temperature scale. So if one's hot, one's cold, the bulk of the people are somewhere in the warm regions. We all do things that have upset others and will upset others. This is the journey of the soul within this time. We're not born pure and good. We're born into layers of veils, I guess. So you got to peer through the veils. There's an alchemical drawing about that, about peering through the veils. But there's so many little veils or screens on our lives because we come into this life as a free spirit, and we got to learn the rules of 3D existence. And they're taught to us by our teachers, our school system, our society that we brought up in our community from a range of people, we have this dynamic of within ourselves, learning good from bad, seeing really bad people, seeing really good people. Maybe we try some bad things because we see they're getting away with it, and I should be able to get away with it. I've tried that one a few times in school and I never got away with it. But there will always be that balance. But what I boil things down to is like an energetic transfer. So who are you now, and how can I express myself in a better, more loving way? People, I've actually been, in the last year, I've been privy to what we'd like to be, that fly on the wall within a karmic situation, watching the other person get what it is that they deserve. I've actually been in that position now, and I can say from experience, it's not as good as what you might think. When you understand, the dynamics of, even though they might quote unquote deserve it, they're still going through the same mental process, the same emotional process than you did. It's just their turn to learn that lesson. And by knowing that, it's all I see is like energy transfers between people. And some of them could be good, some of it bad, but at every little intersection or point in our life, we have the choice to, even if we're upset with something, to try to change the dynamic within the room, or trying to change the energy within the room, accepting that someone that's hurting you is hurting, like that old analogy of hurt people, and not to pass on that energy transfer to someone else because, you got affected, you got triggered. The reason why you got affected or you got triggered means that there's something within you that's not as solid as what it should be, and should be a point for a little bit more internal reflection. Other than that, I've ranted for a little while. I'll hand it back over. No, I think I did that. We're giving our power away to people in situations. And just touching on that experience I just shared, when we react without, that there's primal instincts within us that fear is one of them. It's of a primal nature. Attraction's another one. When we act within those primal stages without higher consideration from our mental and emotional faculties, without actually looking at the situation from an observer perspective, we've got the chance of doing something within our lives that will bring on an effect from the causation that we put out there that might not be as good as what we could have done if we were to take some time and reflection. So I like to spend a little bit more time in those reflective moments. There's always time to act. And if we could share within ourselves a better, more loving energy transfer between those direct lines of communication between these little souls, these little matrices or little bubbles, the better the whole of the planet will be.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are those energy transfers? Right now, people were like, well, how do I navigate this, right? For me, just my point of view is compassion, kindness. That goes such a long way. People have forgotten what love is because of separation and fear. because it's been ruling the roost for such a long time. And so if you can find kindness in your heart and hold someone in compassion, my father always used to say to me, my mom as well, put yourself in someone else's shoes, walk in those shoes for a while, and then you'll understand. And we don't understand where people are at. We don't know what they're navigating. We don't know what they've been through, right? We can see with our eyes, but then through our own matrix, we then go, oh, okay, that's what's happening. But it's our perception of that. It's not the truth. So if we can hold space for these people, every single human being is going through stuff at the moment. None of you are going to get away from this. I remember seeing this vision right in the beginning when all the shit started hitting the fan, before COVID even happened, right? And Spirit showed me the curtains opening and the stage was open, and it was literally thousands of chairs there. And they said, right, curtains are open, walk out on the stage, it's time for you to shine. Okay, now whatever that means for you, it's time for you to shine. To me, it meant like I needed to, get my A into the G and literally start doing the work that I came here to do. For you, it might mean something different. It might mean to go and phone that friend that you've been meaning to phone for about 10 years, okay? Go and visit your grandmother. Go and hold someone in compassion. Walk down the street with, smiling to people. Whatever it is, the stage is set for every single human being now to perform in a way that is no longer from a space of fear, that is no longer from a space of judgment and envy and deceit and secrets and jealousy, because that's not going to get us anywhere anymore. That stuff is going. And if you can't begin to understand that that is keeping you in a state of fear, locked in the space of, I can't move forward, I'm not enough, I can't do this, and keeping you in that space of lack, right? This is what's happening. This is now dissolving that separation that we have with, oh, actually, I am loving, I am kind, I am compassionate, I am who I am. I am divine. I'm a human being. How do I want to live my life moving from, from this moment forward now? And so ultimately, yes, there are people that are going through really hard things. I don't dismiss it. There are people that feeling the pain, that's going through intense, hard things right now. I hear you, I see you, and you know what? I hold you in compassion, and I invite every single one of you that's listening to this talk to do the same. Fill your heart with love, compassion, kindness. Fill your heart with an energy that feels like joy or happiness, if that is what you can access, and send that, ripple that into our world because it's needed. You, every single one of you, have the ability to make a change, to be the way showers, to be the change makers here, if you choose to be. Right, Craig?
Yes, that's awesome. Yes, the age of illusion is over. Yeah. And this is what they're talking about, like we're all moving into 5D. And for some people, they don't know what the whole, 5D is, and, what happened between 3D and inline 4D.
It's 4D. Timeline broke away, tore away, no more 3D.
So the fourth dimension would be everything revealed. So if I've got two boxes right here. So fourth dimension that we would be operating in, if we were fourth dimension and beings, you'd not only be able to see me within the room, you'd be able to see what's in the boxes. You'd be able to see what's within me and my consciousness and my soul as a level. Like we're getting towards those kind of things where our intuition's peaking. We're growing, we're evolving. Yes, we are heading into the 5-dimensional area. That's a whole new stepping stone. we are transitioning through the 4D consciousness at the moment. So with all those people going through those really tough times, and they're following what they think is their soul guidance, the soul alignment, a little bit of peace of mind that I tell every single person that comes to see me when we get to this conversation is, don't worry about the events of the past, even if they were just like yesterday. The universal guidance is here and around everyone right now. And it is listening and directing and telling you, shaping you in ways that you can't really see, know, or acknowledge, even when you've been following it for a long time. Like, I constantly think I see the plan ahead of me, but what they do is they take you down a road of what you think is the road, like straight line, but they go, yeah, there's the straight line, but we're going to turn the left up here a little bit and we're going to go off this way. That happens so often that it's hard to follow. And what I tell people who's interested in following that kind of universal guidance as a path to their inner soul development and growth and dealing with the traumatic things of life is just to deal with the things within the moment. There's nothing more to do. Deal with things in the moment, try and deal with them in the best way that you can. Spend some time and reflect on those things that make you feel negative in any way, shape or form, whether it's expressing anger, jealousy, or someone's, belittled you or minimized you. Whatever that negative expression that came into your world, if you just spend some time and analyze it at the end of the day, that's basically all you need to do. If you make a practice of that, going over a few weeks and a few months, you'll start to see a pattern of forming, and they will be directing you to make amends on something or other. But you only have to follow what's happening within the day. You don't have to go on a great big mission and go, yes, I'm spiritual now and I want to clear all this karma. You can all just relax and just deal with the things within the day. It'll come.
Yeah. And the thing is about that as well is a lot of, because we're so connected, remember our bubbles are connected, right? A lot of what people are experiencing is collective. It's not even yours. Yes, some of it is, but there's also a lot of collective energetic transfers and frequencies. Plus, you have the planetary energies, you have plasma upgrades, solar upgrades, you've got your own codes within your own body activating, codes dissolving, that sphere codes it's dissolving. There's a lot happening. So it's like Craig says, you're not even aware of all the things that's going on. You feel it because, yes, we're emotional beings. And I always say, when you've got that emotional charge, when that charge is so profound that you feel like you want to explode, honor it. Go into that inner inquiry then. Is this mine? Is this mine to hold on to? Is this true for me? And you will be guided. Simply, just same as Craig said, you will be guided. When he says they, he's talking about spirit, your higher self. So just to clarify that. Okay. Yeah. We are being guided.
Just to add to that, I've got a beautiful soul that I'm helping at the moment, and she's a very heart-centered person that's, holds and is wanting to hold feelings and connections for others. She's learning how to separate what is hers and what is potentially others, but there's a bunch of people. So what I suggested her recently is to inquire with the question of, assign colors, and to inquire with that question, is this my energy? Is this my color? Or whose color is this? To draw those energetic boundaries so that we can try to work out, is it someone that I'm connected to and I want to feel this, and something's right, something's wrong? Or is it, like you were saying, energetic connections from the world, from the community, from the surroundings, or whatever's happening in your local area?
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of doing it, assigning a color to it. Perhaps saying, if this is not mine, let it be a red color. If it's, mine, let it be a blue color, so that there's differentiation. That's a really good tool. Thank you. And that brings us to tools. What are the tools that you can use to be able to help you navigate this matrix of illusions and fear, and also to come back to the truth of who you are, which is ultimately love. And I always say, if you want to return to love, do more of what you love. Go out in nature. Go and paint. Go and spend time with people that make you laugh, like as if your cheeks will explode and your belly's hurting and your teeth are all out to the world to see. That's the kind of stuff that you need to do. Go and travel. Go and explore. Awaken the inner child within you through spending time with children. Children are magical, amazing beings. Go and look for the fairies, get your child on and go and look for the fairies. Go and speak to the trees if you need to go speak to the trees. I know that sounds woo-woo and crazy, but sometimes nature is such a beautiful, not sometimes, always, nature heals, holds space for you. So certainly find the tools that work for you. If you want to put your favorite music on, dance. If you want to go and talk to a friend. I feel that, and I just want to add this because Spirit's bringing it up, I feel that our children are needing support right now. They have gone through an immense amount of change in a very short period of time. And yes, they'll be able to navigate things quicker than us, but especially teenagers, I'm seeing it in my own children, helping people or helping children to navigate and telling them that it's okay to feel the things that they're feeling right now. It's okay to release it, and how to release it, how to, go out in nature, how to be adventurous. And coming back to that as well, simplifying life, being on devices, being on electronics. Yes, it's gifted us a lot, but it's also made our lives a lot more complicated. There is this comparisonitis, comparison syndrome, whatever you want to call it. There is this, oh, let me take a selfie of myself. Oh, let me buy that car because my mate has got it. Let me have the latest cell phone. Let me do this, let me do that. So there is this weaving of a web of illusion in our children's lives. And we really, as parents, the awakened, the people that are seeing the truth, I invite you to support your children from young to old. And it is such an important thing to do right now. Yes, you're supporting yourself, you're allowing yourself to come into consciousness and awareness, but what's more important is to reach out to your immediate family and to really strengthen, solidify the bond that you have with each other within your immediate family, because that's where your foundation starts. This is where it all starts. And then when that foundation is solid and strong and you have a plan and you're working with each other, co-creating with each other and within your own self, that is when it ripples out to the rest of the world as well. Craig, what are your tools?
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you. I like it so much. Yeah, children are their individual souls, and quite often I had to hold myself back so many times because I just want to do things for them. But that doesn't teach them the lesson. So even if they're going through something traumatic, just being there for a support role, as like maybe you might have been. So a little tip and trick and tool to help yourself and potentially help them is, if you had a traumatic moment in your past, you could go there visually, emotionally, energetically again, if it's not super traumatic like PTSD. and be the experience that you needed within that healing moment. So maybe you needed support, maybe you needed guidance, maybe you needed someone to tell you that, you know what, don't listen to that person because they said you're dumb and you know can't do this or that. You are intelligent. You might need to try a little bit harder, but you can do that. So you can go back and be that person. And when you see someone else suffering, whether it's your child or someone else, even an adult, they are going through a dynamic that's a lesson within them. Just being there to support them, to listen to their feelings, to get them to talk and express what they're thinking, express what they're feeling. It's very important to, I say, to find out what they're thinking, find out what they're feeling, and do a little bit of a visualization on if this event was going to happen again. You know, with all the options available to you in the universe, pretend they all exist. What could you do? And out of all those options, you know, which one's most likely, which one's less likely? You can go through a little bit of a dynamic of all these little workarounds to that individual problem for that person that's going through these kind of things. Because when we go through life, it's all about the learning experience. I like the analogy, it's like walking on a tightrope. Your individual soul expression is going this way, but you might want to put a step to the left, step to the right. You got this little balance beam. There are people there trying to knock you off. But in reality, whilst you're walking this little tightrope, it's only like this far off the ground. You're not going to fall too far without some support or someone, you know, catching your fall, whether that's being that be the angels, the energetic experience, your guides, however you might like to describe them, or your family. You don't fall too far. So I would say for everyone, the tool and trick to starting to begin a happier existence is to always have a goal, always have this visualization of the perfect happy you that, like you said, is following your bliss. What does it look like? I tell people not to tell anyone at all, because what you're doing is you're crafting an image of you that is the best possible version of you, and you're always going to change it. You're going to want to talk about it, but you're also going to want to change it. And when you want to change it, you don't need to be explaining why you decided to change it to any one singular person or a multitude of persons. So have a goal, follow your bliss, listen to the dynamic within the day. You know, how am I feeling initially in the morning? You know, is it good, bad, or indifferent? As events transpire within the day, how do we alchemize and transform those moments into a greater loving feeling that would be more like that goal direction of that happy, healthy, blissful person that you want to be? And be kind on yourself. That's it. Like I said, it's like walking that little tightrope. You're going to get knocked off multiple times, but then you get up, you get back on, you keep stepping forwards. Sooner or later, you'll find yourself more towards the end. It doesn't really end, but it does get better and better and better.
You can choose. And this is the thing, is what can I do now? What do I want to do now? And that's where you start. Awareness, yes, something doesn't feel right within me. Okay, Is this mine? No, maybe not. Okay, let me go deeper into that. Do I want this? Do I want to hold on to this? Yes or no? Right? Does it feel painful? Heck yes, right? Do I want to go there? Probably not. But then if you don't, it'll continue coming back until you do, right? It is finding your bliss. Absolutely. I always say, this is my line, you are here to find your most beautiful self through all the chaos, through all the bullshit, through all the illusions and the fears and everything that's been created in this world, right? This is a beautiful life. You get to live this life here on this planet. If you walk outside and you care to look around you, you can see the beauty that is presented to us every single day. And so when we start simplifying our life and get off our devices, get off, television and all of that stuff, and we actually take time to take in the simplicity of life, we begin to connect back to the beauty within us as well. So I really invite you to start somewhere, to just start dissolving this illusion and fear. Just ask yourself, where do I want to go from now? What do I want? How do I want to move forward? Who am I now? And go from there. And then you, like I said, you go out in nature. There's this real almost event horizon is the word that Spirit's using right now. Like this event horizon, this rising of beautiful energy that is supporting us. And within that supporting energy, we are activating so many of our innate and dormant gifts and abilities. And so there's lots more inspirations running through us, lots more inventions that's coming into this world, lot more things, inventions. When I'm talking about inventions, I'm not talking about necessarily more technology. I'm talking about organic technologies, right? Things that we have forgotten because of the separation, because of the illusions and the fear that we've been sitting in. So as we connect more deeper with our beautiful selves and the simplicity of actually, yes, we actually very intricate beings, but simplicity, love is simplicity. Love is all encompassing. Love is healing, and that is who we are. So if we connect to that beautiful thread of light that runs through us, that golden thread that is source, all the information is there. We don't have to chase anything. We don't have to run away from everything or anything. It's all there within us. Just reach out and it will be revealed when the time is right. So, Craig, anything else that you want to add to that as we say our goodbyes?
That was a pretty awesome summary. Other than that, exactly what you were just going on with and explaining, keep finding your tribe. People will be there for a season, reason, or a lifetime. Keep following your bliss. Keep following and finding your tribe. Not everyone's going to stick with you to the end, and we need to be okay with that.
Yeah, because as you ascend, as you raise your frequency, as you heal things, as you shift things, as you come in more into your beautiful self, you're no longer going to resonate with certain frequencies and people and situations and experiences. And that's okay, right? It's okay to, I call it, because I saw this beautiful video, to fall out of frequency with people and with things. So if you're foofing, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just allow yourself to, really truly experience life and the beauty of life. And I want to add this, and this is something that I feel truly passionate about. If life feels like you don't see the way out, you don't know where you're going, you don't know where your job's going to come from, you don't know where money is going to come from, the food's going to come from, please reach out. There is a soul in this world that's contracted with you at a time that you didn't even realize before you came here, that came here to help you. That soul might be walking down the street as you open your front door. Just reach out. Say, I'm here. I need help. Okay? There's too many people leaving this world because they feel that there's no out. There's too many people leaving this world and shutting down because of the illusions and the fear that they have around them, right? They're not wanting to face what is happening. And that's fine. Yes, other souls are leaving, new souls are coming in. But I'm saying that you have a choice. So what you do with that choice is entirely up to you. Okay. Thank you, beloveds, for listening to this talk. Craig, thank you so much for your wisdom once again. It's been such a pleasure. And where can people find you if they want to connect with you?
Ooh. Oh, I still haven't got around to developing a website. It's coming. Just on Facebook at the moment, Craig Acheson, or I do have a business page, but it's not, I don't spend much time on it. Magnetic Transformations.
Perfect.
I've got an Instagram too, but I never look at it. Mostly Facebook.
Perfect. So yeah, reach out to Craig on Facebook or to myself if you don't know how to get hold of him, because we have regular chats. So thank you, my loves. And from my heart to yours, I love you. I see you. And remember, we are creating and co-creating and laying foundations. So begin building from the inside. Much love. Pleasure. Bye-bye.